What's up, y'all? Welcome back. This is a new YouTube channel. I'm starting a new one because the last one, I think I always was just so spotty with it to where it wasn't pushing out my videos. So I started a new one, and we're going to make a daily YouTube video going through plays, straight bets, player props, what I'm looking at, how I get my player props, stuff like that. So the videos are going to be longer, but that's kind of how I'm intending for them to be, because this is going to be for people that are more interested in the long form content of how I get my plays and kind of how I walk through it. So I have one play, one slip so far, and then I have three straight bets so far. So I'm gonna walk you through the three straight bets that I have, and then I'll give you all the player prop slip that I have right now as well, and then we'll make a couple player prop slips together, because this is what I do every morning. I just don't record it. So I'm gonna start recording it just so y'all can see how I find my process, but also so I don't know, we can just kind of, y'all can develop and see how, or I want to say like develop a relationship with how I'm like getting my plays, or just how you see. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Quick recap before we get started. Yesterday, one of the worst days I've ever had sports betting in over a year, if not ever. Everything I touched yesterday literally was just full fade. I think we hit maybe 3 player props. It happens. It's our player prop hit rate had been so crazy before that I honestly was kind of expecting it. You just hope it never happens, and it happened. And yeah, it sucks, because obviously everything that I take is going to get shown to over 300 people a day at least in VIP, but also the ones I post on social media is shown to over 4,000 people. So it weighs heavy on me when we have days like that, bro, because I know how many people it truly affects. And like whenever you win, you're not really thinking about it like that, because you're more so happy for yourself that you hit and that you made money. And I'm not even really thinking about the fact that all the other people that made money off of it. So you only think about the people it affects whenever you lose. But whenever you win, you're not really thinking about how many people actually made money off of it, because you're just happy that you yourself hit, which kind of, I don't know. I was thinking about it last night on my drive home from the casino, which scariest drive of my life, because I have to go through like a national forest and shit, and I was on 3 hours of sleep. It was dark. It was just horrible. Anyways, we're back home, starting this new series on YouTube where I'm posting every single day, walking you through the process. But I just always want to be open with y'all and how my mental state is whenever it comes to this stuff, because mental warfare with sports betting is like, it's the main thing. Like, if you can get through the mental side of sports betting, you are going to make money eventually, or over the long term, I should say, if you're doing the right things. But it's even harder whenever you have so many people tailing your plays and stuff, which I'm glad I do. I'm very blessed, and I appreciate all y'all. But just know I'm thinking about y'all whenever we have those days. Is what I'm trying to say. But overall, last week was really a good week. It just sucks that it ended on a really bad day, because that's what you want to think about, is the bad day, not the entire stretch of the week. Especially for most people that tailing, because it's like, not what have you done for me overall, but what have you done for me yesterday is like the main thing, you know? So, yeah, just wanted to talk about that first, but let's get into the video today. Feeling much better now. I got 11 hours of sleep last night, much needed. So let's get into it. Polymarket, Sleeper, code Morris Bros. You get a free month of VIP whenever you sign up on either. You get a deposit match and a free square on Sleeper, and a free 20 on Polymarket whenever you use this code. Polymarket's going to ask you if you have an invite code. That's what you're going to click yes to, and then Sleeper will ask for the promo code. But it's just code Morris Bros for both. But yeah, let's talk about the one player prop slip I do have. Also, if you don't want to DM me that you signed up on Sleeper or Polymarket on Instagram, you can also just text me right here. This is my work phone. Just text me that you signed up with a screenshot of your deposit, and we'll get you your free month or free months. You get 3 free months if you do both. If you do one, you get 1 month. But just text this number right here of proof, and we'll get you set up. Or you can DM me on Instagram, whatever you want to do. Anyways, the free player prop that I have, or player prop slips that I have right now. I don't know why I said free player prop slips. I'm literally going to walk through all the player props that I'm looking at today. Yandy Diaz, Pete Alonso, Julio Rodriguez, all over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. So how I found this, dude, you come over here, Pete Alonso, put him in this. So he has a 17% decrease in runs created today, 45% decrease in home runs, but he has a 5% increase in extra base hits and 6% increase in singles. So if you look right here, he has a 25% increase in strikeouts and a 5% decrease in walks. So this is actually good because we don't want our hitter walking whenever we have hits, runs, RBIs. It's not the worst thing because he can still score a run. But obviously it takes a hit opportunity away from him. So honestly, I kind of like seeing a decrease in this. And while I do factor in this chart, especially for the runs created aspect, I'm looking more so at the history. So he has 2 at-bats against Weathers over the last 3 years. He has 1 home run. But if you come over here to Baseball Savant, this is a very, very important page in my process. I use this a lot. I'll come over here, click Ryan Weathers' name. You go to expected batting average. So over his entire career, Pete Alonso's faced Ryan Weathers 4 times. He has 2 hits, 1 home run, 1 single, 2 strikeouts. The strikeouts is, I don't like to see 50% of his at-bats as strikeouts, but I do see 50% of his at-bats as hits as well, and especially one of them being a home run. Plus his expected batting average is a 485, which is really, really good. That means both of his hits were legit hits. They weren't just like, a blooper. I also looked at his exit velocity. This is how fast the ball is coming off his bat. I like to see anything over 90 plus miles per hour. And then the other really, really important thing here is the launch angle. So ideally for a home run to be hit, in most ballparks, you're going to want to see about a 28 to 32 launch angle for a home run. So 24.5 is really, really good. Anything over 18 launch angle is pretty good here, especially if the exit velo is over 90, because this is average exit velo over the at-bats in his history of the career for that pitcher. So really 2 good numbers right here that I'm seeing, and the expected batting average looks good. While this doesn't look great, these 2, Pete Alonso's strong enough, so if he's going to lift the ball, it's going to carry out of the ballpark. Even though it says 45% decrease in home runs, it's Pete Alonso. He's one of the stronger players in the MLB. He can hit a home run in any ballpark, regardless of the weather. The park factors, this is another important thing to look at. But as you see right here, this is why the 45% decrease in home runs today. It's a 20% decrease in home runs in that ballpark, so it makes sense. But only a 4% decrease in runs scored on average in that ballpark today. So I think there still should be some runs scored. He has a great history against the pitcher. I'm going to take him over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs today. Julio Rodriguez has been red hot. I'm going to stick with him today. The ballpark conditions in that game are kind of the same. Actually, a little bit better. 6% increase in home runs. Extra base hits, see a little bit of a decrease. Singles, not really a decrease. Runs scored, about the same. You're going to see an average number of runs scored in this game based off of 10,000 game simulation. So, granted, this game could be 1-0. It could be 11-10. You never know. All it's saying is that it's about average for runs being scored in this ballpark, which is probably roughly 7 or 8 runs. But if we go over to, I don't know, I think Julio Rodriguez has faced him before. Pete Lambert. I'm pretty sure he has. Yeah, he's faced him twice. Nothing crazy. He has 1 bloop hit, pretty much is what this expected batting average is telling me. Oh, it's an infield single. I guarantee you his hit right here was an infield single because it has a negative 42% launch angle, which probably was a chopper. And then 81 exit velo, not great. But what I like to look at right here, he has a 4% increase in runs scored over today's game, 3% increase in home runs, which is good. And this isn't too bad either. Plus, he has a minus 10% decrease in strikeouts, so he's going to strike out less today than normal. Granted, he could still have four strikeouts. He can go over 4 with 4 Ks. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying it's less likely today that he strikes out than if you put him in like an average game with average conditions against your normal pitcher. Plus an increase in walks, so that's just telling me a better on base percentage today on average. So he can score more runs if he's on base. So I like him over his 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Like I said, he does have a hit. It's not an impressive hit at all against Lambert, but it is a hit. So the way he's been hitting the ball recently too, he's red hot. I'm going to stick with him, take him over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Yandy Diaz, last but not least, the last player in this player prop slip. Kevin Gausman today. He's hitting an expected batting average of 288. He's 7 for 15 against Gausman all time. A lot of singles. He has a 92 exit velo with an 8% launch angle. 8% launch angle, so a lot of line drives off the bat of Yandy against Gausman, which I like. Plus, the ballpark conditions aren't too bad today in Tampa Bay, or in Toronto, I should say. About average everywhere here. This is about as average as you're going to see. There's no big increase or decrease in home runs, total base hit, or extra base hits, singles, or runs being scored. So it's going to be about your average game, probably 4-4, 5-4, 8 or 9 runs scored, something like that on average. But I do like Yandy today. See, this looks horrible, but if you factor in that this is all about the same as an average, so this is pretty close to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. If this said maybe like minus 30, minus 20, and 0, I would probably stay off of Yandy, but this is all pretty irrelevant for decreases in extra base hits, home runs, singles. So I'm going to take him again today. Plus, he's been kind of in a slump over the last 2 games, so I like him to bounce back today against a hitter or against a pitcher he's seen a lot. I feel like he's comfortable against Gausman, so I like him over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. That is the first player prop slip we're going with today. That is the first one I took today. And then I'm also on the Mariners minus 1.5 against the Astros today. The Astros have just been abysmal. Mariners have been decent, but I think they're the better team today. If we scroll down here, on average, they win this game by 1.4 runs off a 10,000 game simulation. So at plus money, at plus 127 on Polymarket, I'm going to take them to win by 2 runs. Because like I said, on average, over 10,000 game simulations, they're winning by 1.4 runs. So theoretically, the minus 1.5 should be plus 100. But we're getting plus 127, which is decent value there. So I'm going to take them to cover by 2 runs. Or if you want to, if you're okay with laying a lot of juice, take them minus 140. Or I think they're like minus 133 on Polymarket. Either one is fine if you want to lay that juice. I would rather just get plus money for them winning by 2 runs, personally. So the other two bet slips I'm on today. I'm on the Orioles. I took them plus 150 against the Yankees. Look at this. On average, on 10,000 game simulations, they score about the same amount of runs. Yet we're getting the Orioles at plus 150 on Polymarket. I'm going to take them on the money line there. And then the other one I was on was... Where was it? Who did I take? I took something else. Let me look. I got to pull this back up for you. Oh. I took the Giants. It's scary, I understand, but they're plus 163 on Polymarket, and the 10,000 game simulations have them only being plus 118. So that's a really, really good amount of value. I'm going to take them to win today at plus 163 for a unit. As you see right here, on average, they only score 0.2 runs less than the Dodgers today. Roki hasn't been anything impressive. I mean, I know the Giants lineup has been abysmal. But honestly, so is the Dodgers. The Dodgers just dropped the series to the Braves 1-2, even though they should have won. Honestly, they should have won all 3 of those games based off of the pitcher matchups. But the Braves lineup has just been really good. Dodgers pitching wasn't anything special, and the Dodgers bats just aren't there right now. Ohtani's not producing. Freddie Freeman's been okay. But overall, the Dodgers have not been producing runs, so I'm going to take the Giants to win here at plus 163, especially if they only score 0.2 runs less on average over 10,000 games. So I'm going to take a shot here at plus 163. They're only supposed to be plus 118 based off these game simulations. So I like them today. All plus money plays today on straight bets, which you could deem it scary, but if you're finding value over the long term on plus money plays, you're going to make money, which is all that matters. So let's talk more player props now. I want to get into some pitcher player props because we've done a lot. We've done all hitters so far, and then maybe I'll even look at some NBA. So if we go to, I can get rid of this now. If we go here to my pitching page, okay. The strikeouts for everyone today, it's just not anything impressive. There's no impressive pitching on the mound today, really. I mean, maybe Gausman, but Gausman's facing a team in Tampa Bay that doesn't strike out. So, like, he's not that impressive. You could argue Weathers against Orioles because the Orioles do strike out a good bit, but he's at 5.5 on Sleeper, and I think everywhere else as well. Eovaldi, he's facing the Diamondbacks, who don't strike out a whole lot, honestly. He's been great over his last 2 starts, don't get me wrong, but the line at 5.5 just looks sketch, especially at plus money. So I'm going to stay away from Eovaldi. I just don't see anybody worth taking for strikeouts. So that's going to lead me to looking at base on balls, because the walk props have been really good for us so far. And I really, really like these game simulations of telling me the projected walks allowed from these pitchers. So we can look at Weathers' walks allowed. He's projected for 2.2. He's at 1.5 on Sleeper. But what I'm looking at is over his last couple of starts, he hasn't been walking anybody. So he's had 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 3, 2 this year. So he's gone under 3 times, gone over 4 times, and he's only 1.56x for the over here, which isn't enough of a payout for me to take him, truthfully. So I'm going to stay away from that. Eovaldi, Kirby are all big no-nos for their walks over. They just don't walk people. Roki Sasaki, you could look at over 1.5 walks, but he's only projected 2 here. And he's only 1.46x on Sleeper, so that's not even worth it either. Alek Manoah could be worth taking. I don't see his line on here right now, but if he's at 1.5, I would actually not hate that. I just don't know how many innings he's going to pitch because this is his first game back in a while. Trevor McDonald. Nope. So there's like not even any good walks to take right now either, bro. There really isn't. So let's move to the next thing I like to look at, pitching outs. You could look to take Eovaldi over 18.5 pitching outs. Especially with the hitting conditions in this game. They project to be less runs scored. The Diamondbacks offense hasn't been anything crazy. They're hitting an expected batting average of 213 against them. You could, if you wanted to, you could take Eovaldi 18.5 pitching outs at 18.5 pitching outs at plus money at 1.94x on Sleeper, if you like that. I also don't hate this George Kirby play. I'll probably stay away from it at 18.5 pitching outs, but if you wanted to take another 2.23x play on Sleeper, you could take his 18.5 pitching outs. Let's see. Gausman, I'm not taking Gausman's outs. I'm not. Trevor McDonald's pitching outs is intriguing, but it's against the Dodgers. I'm just not seeing like a ton of plays. I mean, dude, the slate is just not anything special today. I would take Brandon Young over 14.5 pitching outs on Sleeper. I like that. Yeah. I would take Brandon Young over his 14.5 pitching outs on Sleeper. He's projected for 5.5, so he's projected for about 5 1/3. I would take him over 15 pitching outs. I'm going to, actually. So that's one player prop I have. We can look at the I just don't see anything else really in the MLB. It's just a boring slate today, boys. It's just a boring slate. It truly is. Let's look at the hockey. I like Wallstead over 28.5 saves. I'm going to take that, actually. Yeah, I'm going to take, in the NHL, Jesper Wallstedt over 28.5 saves against the Avalanche. I like that. And then, looking at the NBA, I feel like Cade Cunningham is due for a big game, but they've been keeping it close without him having a big game. So that might be how they want to continue to play. Mitchell's been insane. Allen's been good. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to take any NBA right now, but I do like... I'm not going to take this as an official slip right now because I like to make 3-mans instead of just 2-mans. But I would take Brandon Young over 14.5 pitching outs and Jesper Wallstedt over 28.5 saves in a slip. But I would add a player prop that you personally like to it to make it 6x or 5x, whatever. That way you're getting a better payout over the long term. You'll make more money doing that. Unless you just want to take it as a 2-man and don't care. But it looks like... y'all aren't going to be able to see it. Brandon Young, 14.5 pitching outs. Jesper Wallstedt, over 28.5 saves. He's the Minnesota Wild goalie. I like those two. That'll be your bonus 2 player props. Like I said, I wish I could give out more. But the slate is just... It's very, very poor today. There's not a whole lot to take. What I would do is take OKC minus 9.5 as well as another straight bet. And I probably will end up taking them minus 9.5. The Lakers just can't compete with this team. They've been blown out by 15 plus easily over the last couple of games. I would just nuke OKC minus 9.5. And if they lose or they don't win by 10, then so be it. They've won by 20 plus each game. They're by far the better team. They've clearly proven it. I would take them to win by 10. I probably will take them to win by 10. They're just going to take care of business, sweep the Lakers, and move to the Western Conference Championship. Yeah. So OKC minus 9.5 is another play I'm giving to y'all. And then Brandon Young, 14.5 pitching outs over Jesper Wallstedt over 28.5 saves as well for player props. If y'all want to see everything I'm on today, every play I take, join VIP. You get a free month whenever you sign up on Polymarket or Sleeper. You can use code 50 on our monthly pass on Winnable or code 69 on our yearly pass on Winnable. They both give you that correlated percentage off, so 50% off the monthly pass, 69% off the yearly pass. The link for that is on our Instagram. Other than that, if y'all sign up on Polymarket or Sleeper, DM me or shoot me a text. We'll get you a free month or 3 free months if you do both. The link for those will be down below. Let me know how y'all like these format videos. I'm kind of interested. I think the longer format's going to be better over the long term for y'all, especially for the ones who like listening and seeing how my process works. Unfortunately, today's slate's kind of ass, so I can't really give y'all like the full thing because normally this would probably be like a 45-minute video. But I like this. I like kind of just taking y'all with me through the process. I mean, I do this anyways. I just never recorded it. But it just feels like y'all could get... y'all could develop a relationship with me and see how I get my process done. You can ask questions in the comments. And hopefully it just allows y'all to see how my brain is working throughout the process of finding plays. But I appreciate y'all, man. Let me know how y'all like these formats. Leave a like, leave a comment, and make sure you subscribe because this is a new channel. So appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We're doing this shit every day.